the kind of comments coming through from Union Minister Nitin Gadkari, who's urging the Finance Minister to withdraw the GST, the Goods and Services Tax, on premium, the kind of premium that we pay on our health insurance as well as life insurance. If you do remove GST from insurance premium, it could reduce the burden on insurers for sure. It would also boost product demand for the sector overall. Let's find out what this contention is as far as the kind of urging that the Union Minister Nitin Gadkari and the kind of request that has been made to the Finance Minister. Anurag Shah is here to put that in perspective for us. He tracks the insurance sector very closely. So for the insured, for insurers as well, Anurag, this would be beneficial, don't you think?
So demand for reduction of GST on insurance premium has again picked up, and this time Cabinet Minister Nitin Gadkari has returned to Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman saying that 18% GST on life insurance, which is term insurance and health insurance, is unfair because it's a protection against the uncertainty, the term insurance, and for life insurance, medical insurance, it's hindering the growth of sector also. Industry bodies also from very long asking for the reduction on GST on health insurance, and couple of times insurance industry has returned to Finance Ministry that they are ready to pass on if there is any reduction also in GST, because presently the 18% GST is hindering insurance industry a lot, especially on the health side, and for public at large also, especially the senior citizens are suffering a lot because of 18%. If we talk about the data also, so in FY20, overall premium underwritten by general insurer and health insurer was of around 56,000 crore. And in FY24, it has doubled around 1,09,000 crore. So in that same ratio, GST share has also increased from 10,000 crore to around 19,621 crore. But number of policies and number of life covered has not increased in this fold. Number of policies and number of life covered has increased by just 11 to 12%, which is impacting the growth of insurance sector. Presently, the general insurance penetration is only 1% of GDP against the global average of 4%. So that is also hindering the 18% GST is hindering the growth of the overall industry also.
Anurag, let me take it across to Nilesh Sathe. He's a former member of the insurance regulator, the IRDAI. Mr. Sathe, such a pleasure to see your smiling face on Business at 9. Like my colleague Anurag was explaining, the benefits this would really accrue to the sector at large, to the insured and the insurers. How do you read it? Taking off premium that we pay on health and life insurance off the ambit of GST?
No, the first thing is I must compliment Nitin Gadkari, who is the first cabinet minister who has raised this issue with the finance minister. No time in the past anybody has raised it at cabinet level. A letter was written by employees union to Mr. Gadkari, and he understood it. Actually, I had a couple of discussions with him in the past as well. And he thought of taking it up with finance minister, madam. And immediately he drafted a letter and got it. He signed it and sent it to the finance minister, which is very good. I must appreciate his gesture.
Yes.
Why health and term insurance specifically should be out of the ambit of GST? In my opinion, these are necessities of life. And GST is not charged on necessities of life like grains, food grains, and so on and so forth. So why it should be charged?
Right.
Second is government has a role in ensuring that the health and insurance are provided to the needy. But government is not doing anything on that, honestly. Because abroad in Scandinavian countries, we have seen taxes are collected by the government, but 100% health expenses are borne by the government. We have our own limitations. Let us not compare ourselves with Scandinavian countries. But the issue is what is required to be done is not done by the government. Health is obviously coming in the priority list of government, but it is not providing even 1 to 1.5% of the budget for
Correct.
health.
Exactly.
So,
So
so
the real
understanding it
question,
fully well.
Mr. Sathe, the real question is this premium, removing the kind of GST that is put on premium, on term insurance and on health insurance, how much was that a deterrent for growth within the spectrum of play within the insurance sector today in terms of penetration in India?
Certainly, Vikram, it is a deterrent, no doubt about it, because by and large, it is seen that, let us take an example of health insurance. Health insurance premium for a person of about 30, 40 years of age is about 1/10 of the sum assured. Now, on that, he has to pay 18%, almost 1/5 of the premium by way of GST. And it is also observed that in 10 years, maybe once, maximum twice, claim is raised against the insurance company. Now, against a premium of 1 lakh on which 18,000 GST is paid in advance, suppose at the end of 6 years or 7 years, a claim of 20, 30,000 is raised. What benefit the client has? He has already paid GST on that. The amount of claim that he will be receiving has already is much less than the amount of GST that has been paid. So this is not beneficial at all. So the question is, it is certainly a deterrent, and it should be reduced drastically.
My question was more towards the one that I'm about to ask you next, Mr. Sathe. Is removal of GST going to be enough, or do premiums also need to be rationalized by insurers?
See, premiums get rationalized by insurers every time, and IRDAI keeps a focus or eye on this. It cannot happen that the premium is substantially high as against the claims. You may be knowing that during COVID, most of the companies incurred heavy losses on account of health insurance, as a result of which premium was increased. But again, it was not increased to such an extent that it becomes a deterrent for the policyholder to pay. Moreover, health insurance is a necessity for those who are not in service, means those who have retired. And for retired people, they have already paid taxes during their lifetime. In addition to that, you want them to pay GST on health insurance, which is a need and the necessity of their life. Secondly, the hospitalization expenses are going up. Inflation in hospitalization is too high. Yes. It is not just 5-6%, it's more than 10-11%.
Yes.
Now, taking that into account, it's going to be a big burden for the senior citizen. In addition to increased premium, they have to pay increased GST also.
Correct.
Because GST is at a rate. It is not fixed amount. So if the premium goes up from 10,000 to 11,000, yes, GST is applicable on 11,000, not on 10,000.
Right.
So this is the big.
So, Mr. Sathe, where do we need it more? Do we need it more in health insurance, the removal of GST on premium, or do you say that we need it more in life insurance?
Both, I will say, because term insurance is one thing which is absolutely important for every citizen, and government is not providing anything. We find when accident takes place, government will give bounty of 5 lakhs, 10 lakhs to the people. But why is it that they do not insure or promote term insurance to such an extent that it becomes affordable to everybody? On the top of it, we are charging 18% GST on that, which is atrocious.
You've been part of the regulator. Do tell us, what's the likelihood of this going through, this proposal that has been made to the finance minister? Do you see that coming through?
Vikram, you may be knowing that it is Anurag Shah, your own representative, who had taken up with Nirmalasitharaman in one press conference to reduce the GST. But the question was dodged. I know that. I have seen it. Question is whether it can be done or it will be done will depend on the GST Council's decision.
Right.
But it was not taken up at all in the GST Council in the past. At least now there will be some discussion.
Yes.
And let us see what is the outcome of it.
Well, I'm sure the sector, as well as in insurers and insured, will be hoping for a positive outcome. Mr. Sathe, it's such a pleasure having you on the show. Thank you so much for joining us with your perspective on this.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.